Hi, I wanted to come on and do some movement with you all today, and today's movements are inspired by this exercise program I created for someone who has a specific hip problem, but we're thinking that the problem stems from the ankle, and so it kind of includes the whole body. I thought it'd be a good one to do today. We're going to be using a firm spiky ball. If you don't have one, that's absolutely fine. If you've got a tennis ball, that will work. If you don't have a tennis ball, you could even get a can of soup, and that might work as well. But it's really good for releasing, so we're just gonna make use of that today. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna, first of all, get set into neutral. So these are Pilates-based exercises, so we always want to think about those core concepts that all root from the center here. So we're going to set the pelvis and the low back in neutral. To do that, think of pulling the tummy in, tailbone drawing down towards the ground, and a gentle lift up through the pelvic floor. Go ahead and really feel the ground underneath your feet. We really want to connect with the floor. And at the same time, lengthen through the spine. Think of elongating through the crown of the head. You should feel fairly light through your body. Now we haven't warmed up yet, so really just listen to your body. We're going to do our roll downs. Inhale. Exhale, you're going to let your chin come towards your chest, and you're going to think of peeling through the spine one bone at a time. Keep the weight in the balls of the feet, and see how far you go down to the ground. Take note of where you are, and then also what it feels like behind the legs, and try and remember that. We're going to inhale, relaxing the arms and the head. Exhale, you can soften the knees to roll back up. So we're using that as a test to start off with. All the way nice and tall. We're going to reach up just to stretch back out and then release the arms. So we're going to take that ball and we're going to place it underneath the ball of the foot, and we're just going to roll through to the heel. Just rolling along that arch line. We can start at the big toe and run through that inner arch and then work our way through our toes all the way towards the pinky. And really we're just trying to get to know our feet and where there's tight areas that we can focus a little bit more on. Okay, let's go ahead and just roll out in that arch area. And if it is not uncomfortable, then you probably need to push it a little bit more. So this one we are trying to create just a little bit of discomfort because we're looking for a spot to release. So it's like a feel-good kind of pain. Okay, and then once you've found a spot, go ahead and just hold that pressure down and then try and relax over the ball. Think of just melting the foot over the ball and breathe. Sometimes we feel a little bit of tension elsewhere in the body as we do this, and there is a connection from the toes all the way through the backside of the body, all the way to the forehead that's connected, and so that's why you might feel that. So there's some benefit to releasing through the feet. There's benefit through the whole body. Okay, let's go ahead and roll it out to find another spot. Okay, so pick another spot. It should be in that arch area. And then again, just relaxing over, not just relaxing the foot, but relaxing through the whole body. Okay, let's do one more spot. So just find one more to push and release. Breathing, still connecting with your center. Okay, and then let's just do a couple more rolls from the ball of the foot to the heel. Okay, and then just rest the foot flat. Actually, before we go on to the other side, just compare the difference that you feel on your feet. So the one that you just worked out should feel warmer, broader, almost like fatter, more connection with the ground. Okay, so let's do the same thing with the other side and see if we can make it even out. So we're just starting with rolls. We're just rolling the ball under our whole foot, just getting to know what it's feeling like. We can take it from the big toe and roll through the inner arch, and then go to the second toe and work our way through our toes. all the way to the pinky. And then just roll in that arch area. And again, we're just trying to find that uncomfortable spot. Okay, let's go ahead and hold on a spot. So like I said before, just anywhere in that arch area. And then as you apply load through that point, think of relaxing and releasing. Think of lengthening up through the spine. We still want to be light through the body. Always breathing. And let's go ahead and roll it out and find another spot. Okay. And so if you have trouble standing, you can always do this in sitting. You're not going to get as much load, but you'll still be able to do some good work, so that's always an option. We're going to roll it out to find our third and final spot to release. And then again, just visualize those muscles melting over that pinpoint spot that you're working on, breathing and relaxing. Okay, go ahead and set that ball where it's not going to get in your way. And then bring your feet back into that neutral position. And again, recenter. We're going to do our roll down again. Inhale, and then exhale. Remember, it always starts with the head and then peel through the spine. Okay, and then just see where you go now. Most of you will find that you go further. If not, pay attention to behind the legs and see if it's easier, it feels easier. Okay, we're going to inhale at the bottom and then exhale to roll up. Nice and tall all the way into neutral. All right, we're going to warm up our ankles. Let's put our hands on our hips. We're going to lift up onto the toes and then come back down. Lift up and down. We're really trying to go straight up towards the ceiling and trying not to use momentum and to see how high you can go. We want the ankles to be sturdy. So if you think of pulling your inner thighs together, you might create a little bit more stability around the ankles. Great, let's go ahead and do 5 more. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna lift up and hold. We're gonna do our Pilates walks. So for this, we're gonna press one heel down and then come back up. And then we're gonna press the other heel down to come back up. Okay, so we always hit that double heel raise position. Once you've got that pattern going, can you think about the pelvis? The pelvis stays still. So if the pelvis is a bowl of water, all the water is staying in that bowl. We're not tipping side to side. And really, this is sort of what should happen when we walk. But if you take a look at people walking on the street, you'll see a lot of hips swaying. But that's not the correct way to walk, believe it or not, in terms of efficiency. So we're just practicing a little bit of pelvic stability here while we do some walks, and you should begin to feel your calves working. Okay, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to hold on one leg. We want the pelvis to stay level. Okay, and now we're working balance. On the supporting leg, you really want to stay lifted through that hip area. And if you're really struggling with balance, you just tap your toe down on the ground. But we do want to feel a wobble in the ankle, then we know we're working. Okay, we just need to make sure that it's not too wobbly that we can't sustain it. Okay, we're going to go back down and then do 3, 2, 1 to take us to the other side. We can hold and find our balance. Again, staying lengthened and lifted on that supporting leg, and we can just hold. And this is a great exercise to do when you're washing your hands, when you're waiting for something to microwave, the kettle to boil. It's just good to get those muscles around the ankles working earlier in life than later. Okay, we're going to go back to the first side, so 3, 2, 1, and hold. Okay, so now we want to work a little bit through some challenges. So if this is easy for you, you're holding this no problem, join in with me. Okay, go ahead and look to the right. to the left. I guess just watch any sort of neck issues. Go ahead and come to the center. Look to the left, come to the center, look up to the center. Look right to the center and look down and to the center. Okay, let's do the other side. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna hold. So get that balance going, and then you decide if you want to join in with this challenge. Go ahead and look to the right and to the center. Look down and to the center. Look to the right and to the center. Look to the left and to the center. Look up, look down and to the center. Okay? Great, we'll place our feet flat and we'll do one more roll down to finish up this section. So this time, inhale to reach our arms up, and then exhale to roll down. Use this to stretch out through the ankles or the calves, so let it feel good. Inhale, and then exhale to roll up. Restacking the back one vertebrae at a time. And then inhale at the top, and then exhale to release. All right, we're gonna go ahead and lie on our sides. So it always helps to have, I think, a cushion to support your head. I just have my arm straight overhead. So the setup is actually really important to get the right muscles working. So we don't want the knees bent too high. Okay, so we want the knees to be low. We've got a 45-degree angle at the hip. The feet should be roughly underneath the sit bones. We're gonna push that top hip down and slightly forward. Go ahead and pull the tummy in and draw the tailbone down. You should feel your core working here, and just try to stay relaxed through the upper body. Okay, we're gonna inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, squeeze your heels and then lift the top knee. Inhale to slowly lower back down, and then exhale to just go back up. Inhale to lower. Okay, we're just gonna keep repeating here. The key is the pelvis doesn't move. And if we're in the right position and we are not rolling back, we should start to feel it in the upper glutes here. And those are the muscles we're trying to strengthen. Exhaling to lift, inhale to lower. Let's go ahead and do 5 more here. Really feeling it, where it's working. You can put your finger on the bottom, that's fine. Okay, 2 more. I might have messed up the counts. And great, we're gonna progress. So now we're just gonna lift the top leg 1 inch off the lower leg. That's the starting position. The movement is the same, so we keep that top hip forward and still. You're gonna lift the knee and then lower. Lift the knee and lower. That top foot is hovering over the lower foot. So here we have a little less stability. So we're working a little bit more through control at the hip. Don't get a break either. Exhaling to lift, inhale to lower. Just remember, you should be keeping that tummy drawing in and no tension around the neck, just relaxed. Okay, let's go ahead and do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, lower. We're gonna float the feet up. So as we did that, just make sure that we didn't lose this neutral position. We're gonna inhale to prepare and then exhale the clam again. So it's exhale to lift the knee, inhale to lower. We really aren't going too high. Remember, the key is keep that top hip forward. If ever in doubt, just push the top hip forward. That'll help us work the muscles we want to work. Keep those heels lifted and together. Nice and slow as you lower the knee. Let's do 5 more. 3, 2, 1. Lower the knee, lower the feet. Just got 1 more. We're gonna straighten out that top leg. So it's straight down below, but if I look, I can see my toes. The top hip is forward again. The toes and the knees are forward, slightly down. And we're gonna exhale to lift. Think of leading with the heel, inhale to lower. Okay, so If you want, you can point the toe to lift and then flex to lower. And I'm hoping that you do feel it in the bottom. Great, keep going. We've got 5 more. This is so good for you. 4. So this one kind of works all the glutes. 2, last one. Good job. Go ahead and relax. Let's even out ourselves and come on to the other side. You could just roll over. So, important to set up properly. Right, so the knees are bent, heels underneath the sit bones, knees are not tucked up too high. Take that top hip, push it down and forward, pull the tummy in. Let's do our clams. Exhale to lift the top knee, inhale to slowly lower. Okay, and then just remember, our shoulders should be relaxed. People tend to hold a little tension up around the neck, but we aren't working out up there. We're just trying to work the bottom. These muscles, they really provide good support for the pelvis and the hip. And by giving them good support, we can put the knee and the ankle in better position. It's always this knock-on effect. Everything is connected, right? Let's do 3 more. Remember that we're not lifting the knee very high. Last one here. Okay, we're gonna hover the top leg and we're gonna do the clam again. Exhale, lifting the knee, inhale to lower. That top foot is hovering the whole time. So it should be more challenging because we've got to carry the weight of that leg. Okay, let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, you're doing great, and 1. All right, we're gonna go into our clams level 2. So float the feet up, keep the tummy pulling in. Just exhale to lift, inhale to slowly lower. Okay, keep going, working with your breath. Trying to always think of that tummy being centered, so that light draw in of the belly button towards the spine. That way we get to work muscles a little bit more specifically. You might notice that maybe you're stronger one side than the other. This is my harder side. And it's normal to have those imbalances, but it's something that maybe you would want to work on. Let's go ahead and do 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Good job. Okay, we're going to straighten out that top leg. So we are trying to create that straight line through the body. Okay, we're going to exhale to lift, inhale to lower. The key here, top hip forward, and almost think of leading with the heel as you lift the leg. You shouldn't see your leg coming in front. That's the biggest mistake to see. You should almost feel like you're going slightly behind the body. And we want to feel the whole bottom working here. The glutes, they also support the back. They're actually part of the core. So they're very important. Okay, let's do 4 more. Keep going high. 2 more. 1 more. Great. Good job. So I hope that you felt that. We are going to get those balls again and use them to help us stretch out those muscles that we just worked. So you're going to lie on your back. Okay, you're going to lift your bottom and you're just going to put the ball underneath your bottom cheek. Okay, and just like we did with the foot, you're rolling around and you're trying to find a spot that feels tight that you can work on. So your bottom is not your bottom, but the bottom is quite large. And so really explore all the fleshy area in that bottom. And when you find a spot that is a little uncomfortable, just gently relax over the ball. So if you can let your opposite hip just rest on the ground. And we just try and relax over the ball. Okay, if you are able to relax that opposite hip onto the ground, then we can slowly open the leg and return. Now you always have to listen to your body, and so it's a little bit uncomfortable, but it's not sharp pain. You shouldn't be feeling anything going down the leg. We're just getting into the muscles. If this is not uncomfortable and your leg opens and closes very easily, you might just need to move the ball to another position. All right, let's go ahead and switch to the other side. So you could spend a little bit longer, especially if you have an issue in the area. But we're gonna go ahead and move on. So we're over to the other side, just trying to find tight spots. What I like about using the ball to stretch out these muscles is to get into a stretch position for the glutes. You've got to have quite a lot of hip movement. And so if you are somebody who has a little restriction in the hips, this can be a great way to give yourself a good stretch, because you're not going to be able to get a good enough stretch if you aren't able to move your hip. Okay, so let's find that spot and then relax. I'm just going to let my opposite hip come down to the ground and then open the leg. The key is to try and relax. If you tense up your bottom muscles, you're really not going to get as good of a stretch. I'd say that this ball is a bit bigger, so it's more intense. A tennis ball is probably quite nice size for this area. So remember, if it's too easy, just find another spot. And we're trying not to hit any bony points, so if you could just be mindful of that. If you just remember that the aim of this is to get into the muscles. Okay, let's just do one more. Great. We're going to do our glute bridges here, so our last strengthening exercise. So we're going to get the heels a little bit closer to the bottom. I don't have a head cushion, so just be mindful of what works for you. This will allow me to go a little bit higher. So we're going to inhale to prepare, and then as you exhale, pull your tummy in, scoop the tailbone up. We're going to peel up into that bridge. Inhale at the top, and then exhale to peel back down. We're trying to articulate the back bones into the mat one at a time. You shouldn't be going too high here. We want the pelvis to be higher than the ribs. We're inhaling at the bottom and then exhaling to come up. Watch that the legs stay parallel. Inhale at the top. Exhale to come back down. This is a glute strengthening exercise, so you should feel it in your bottom. If you're feeling it too much in the hamstrings, you might need to get your heels a little bit closer to your bottom. If you're feeling it in your back, pull your tummy in a little bit more and really think of that scoop of the tailbone. So really draw that tummy in and scoop the tailbone up, and then you should feel it more in your glutes and your tummy. Okay, let's do 3 more. Two more. Okay, we're going to hold this last one. Okay, the key is keep your pelvis level. We're not too high. We're trying to actually get a straight line from the knee, pelvis, and shoulder if you aren't too tight in the hip flexors like I am. Okay, we're going to drop the right pelvis about 1 inch and then press it back to level. Drop the left pelvis 1 inch, bring it to level. So if you think of a spirit leveler between those pelvic bones, the bubble's in the center, and then you drop the pelvis, it tips. You bring it back to the center before you tip the other way. Just think, are you still pulling your tummy in? Keeping the bottom lifted, tailbone lifted. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling it in your bottom. Okay, let's go ahead and do 2 more dips each side. Keep breathing. And one last one. Hold that neutral position. Inhale, resting your arms. Exhale to peel down. Great job. So we're gonna go ahead and come to stand. And we'll just finish off with a roll down. And we're gonna use this to stretch out the back of the legs, including the calves that we worked earlier. Inhale, and then exhale to roll down. Keep the weight in the balls of the feet, and try and enjoy the stretch. Just let your arms hang, let your head hang. If you want, you can take your hands and just massage the back of the calves.